It's Thirsty Leo season! Did you drink water today?
We know it's not August, but wherever we are,
it's always Leo season.
This is Colleen.
And this is Eileen.
And we are the Thirsty Leos.
But don't worry, this podcast isn't just about us being Leos.
Although it is what brought us together in a faraway country.
Our podcast is about
anime,
thirst,
creating content,
being Asian American women,
and just surviving through life.
You never know on my mind, my mind,
oh
my mind. Whenever we try to sing, it's lagged. So anyway. Hello, welcome back to another episode of Thirsty Leo season.
Hello.
Hello. I'm so excited. I'm just talking. Colleen, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about one of the best animation movies out there. I said it!
Oh my god.
I said it! You already know we got our panda years on.
Oh shit. Yeah. That's right. We're talking about Turning Red. Yay!
Turning red.
Turning
rojo.
Rojo. Turning what is it?
Hongsa.
Aka. Japanese. Turning red. 红色变成红色.
And that's all I know.
I think that's all I know, yeah. Colleen and I were sitting again by ourselves like, I wonder what we should talk about. And I was like, girl, have you seen Turning Red? And she's like, oh my God, I saw Turning Red. And then we had thoughts. And I was like, bam, new podcast episode. And it's especially relevant for these two little Asian
American girls.
Asian American girls. I was going to say Asian babies, but that's because I've been petting so many pets lately, and I call the pets babies. Excuse me. Sorry.
We are babies.
So I'm very excited, and we've been, believe Colleen rewatched the whole thing to prep, and I've just been listening to the soundtrack. So
it's a banger. The first time after I watched it, I was like, dang, there's this song in my head that I don't know where it's from. And I was like, oh my God, it's from Turning Red.
It is.
Did you know that Billie Eilish's brother wrote the song?
Yes. I think it was
No
Billie
wonder
Eilish.
It's a banger.
Of course, yeah. Billie Eilish and her brother. I think they wrote it together.
Oh, they both wrote it?
They both wrote it, like in terms of like the song mastering and the lyrics. I'm pretty sure when I saw their interview after.
Yeah, you're a true fan.
Yeah. But yes, this has been like a heavily anticipated and talked about movie, especially with a lot of other ABCs, ABTs for culture, language, experiences of biculturality and stuff. And like, oh my God, I'm so stoked to talk about it. But first,
how are you, Eileen? That's right, I beat you to it.
No. Oh, wait, I just talked a bunch. Are you sure?
Yes. Okay. All you.
Okay. So I'm doing really good.
Good.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm on this streak of doing good. I have yogurt here, which
Yum.
is
that actually looks so good.
Thank you for some of my Twitch people. They might remember I eat yogurt a lot, and like today it probably will sit out for another 5 hours before I eat it, but that's an inside joke, excuse me. I'm doing really good, and I want to tell you, and also all the people, SakuraCon as of right now is like this upcoming weekend, and it's an anime convention, and it is like all that I'm buzzing about for the
are you going?
Yeah. I didn't tell you this either. Yes, SakuraCon. You've never been to an anime convention, right?
No, I haven't.
Do you want to? Would you ever?
Yeah, let's go. Let me fly over to you right now.
It's this weekend.
Damn it!
So I've like gone to anime conventions since I was a wee baby, and before I like really when you go to anime conventions, you're a little cringy and stuff like that. But I haven't gone to one as like a real adult since basically 2019. I don't know, I'm talking like this is some nostalgic thing, but like basically I used to table also, like selling art and stuff, or I had one table I had with friends, and then my table got canceled for KawaiiCon. But I always knew about SakuraCon from the very genesis. I was an anime fan because I was like, what's the biggest anime convention like around me? And I heard of SakuraCon, so I've been waiting to go for this for like over 10 years.
I'm so happy you get to go.
Thank you so much. Wait, did I tell you I have my Nezuko cosplay?
Are you gonna be Nezuko?
I freaking wear me Nezuko.
Wait, when did you get it shipped over? Like recently?
A few days ago, yeah.
Ah!
Yeah. I got it at of course, I was get a table as Nezuko, and it was also the same weekend as my graduation. Fun fact, like that was a whole thing in 2020. All of it was canceled. Graduation, QuaiCon, my artist table, and the whole cosplay altogether, contacts, nails, everything for Nezuko. I had a custom Etsy bamboo mouthpiece, whatever thing, was all like $300.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
So I'm finally going to don the outfit, and I'm going to plaster the photos everywhere. So you'll definitely see everyone who's watching, and Colleen, I'll flood you with photos.
Dude,
so,
I'm so excited for you. That's
so
amazing.
Thank you. But enough about me. Throw it away. Colleen.
No, we're keeping it.
Thank you. Colleen, how are you doing?
Me? Just like how you've been on a good streak, I've been on a bad streak. No, I'm kidding. There's definitely been a lot of self-reflection these past few days that I've been doing, and I've been working on myself a lot. I would say I'm in a better place than I was the last time, but I'm still working on myself. Nothing new, nothing exciting has happened for me recently, so yeah, it's just like the same old boring life that I'm living.
Oh,
Sounds so sad.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
You posted something, though. Inspired by Co.
Yes, I did. A little backstory. I started an Instagram art page because I was drawing some anime line art. And then
And it's good.
after a while, I stopped posting because I was feeling major imposter syndrome. And then I called up Eileen, and she just comforted me and encouraged me. And she was like, girl, I feel imposter syndrome. I'm like, no fucking way. If Eileen feels imposter syndrome, like, that's like obviously, like, to me, I'm like, that's impossible because I know how talented she is and I know her work. But then the fact that she was able to, like, open up herself and, like, share with me her own struggles, like, also as an artist who struggles with this, I was like, not that I was encouraged that you had imposter syndrome,
Oh,
right?
no.
But I
It's
was
comforting.
Like,
yeah,
I was
for
comforted
sure.
that, wow, like, even someone that I think would have it all together, you know, also struggles with the same thing I do. So one day I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna post one of the Sakuna line arts that I did.
Oh, yes.
Because
So
I was really
weird.
proud of. Whoa.
It was really nice. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, yes! Because I'm like,
Thank
yes,
you.
she's at it again. Back at it again with the
Back at
freaking...
it again with the line art.
Yes! I was so hyped when I saw it.
Thank you. Yeah, you inspired me to post that. And like I said, like, I feel like I've already reached the bottom of the pit. So all there is now is just going up. So slowly and surely, I'm going to be making my way back up to the game. So slowly, though. Very slowly.
You're already here, baby. You know what's nice about this podcast is, like, no matter what the heck is happening. I think we had like a week where it's busy stuff happened and we didn't do a podcast, but like no matter what is happening, we've been through ups and downs and downs and ups, and we're like, every single time, how are you? Who knows? We just gotta dive in. But
Something
that's
new
the whole
all the
point.
time. Yeah.
Colleen also sent me a little package from Taiwan.
I did.
Which we can open now or later.
It's funny because I sent it to Eileen in like January, and then because Eileen just moved, there was like a problem with her address. So then like they shipped it back to me, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I only recently just resent it again. So I'm sorry it's so late, Eileen.
Are you kidding me? No, I'm sorry that I'd have messed up US address. I just thought it'd be fun to open it. We might include it as like a bonus scene or something. It might not be part of like the actual episode. We'll probably do that after we talk about some freaking pandas.
Let's get into it, dude. I'm excited.
Okay.
First of all, red pandas are my favorite animals in the world. So
Are you serious?
yeah, it's a fact.
Wow.
I have a red
Wait.
panda plushie back in America.
Damn.
I don't know where it is, but
Wait.
I loved it.
I didn't even know red pandas existed until like Kung Fu Panda.
I need to go. I'm just kidding. Wait, Kung Fu Panda had a red panda?
The Shifu. He's an old red panda.
Oh, you're right. I always thought he was a fox. See, that's my fault.
No. Yeah, he does
That's
look
my
like a
fault.
fox. No, I'm sorry. I totally off tracked us. Yeah, I recently found out red pandas were a thing. And then honestly, okay, here's the thing. So we're going to talk about first impressions first with Turning Red. When I saw the trailers, right, I was like, oh, I did have a very positive reaction.
No way.
Yeah, I saw it, and it was like, Mei Lee and her friends, and they're all hanging out, and I was like, oh no, is it gonna be good? Because it was very obviously like, this is a story about like an Asian Canadian young girl, and I'm like, ooh, this is a very specific niche in which I am existing in. I'm just Asian American. And so if they get this wrong, I'm going to be heartbroken. So I came on it with suspicion, and the red panda I honestly didn't find very cute when I first saw it. And the art style too, I was like, like I basically saw like some things. I like to go into things completely blind. So I just saw a few like mini trailers, and I was like, I'm probably not going to see it. And then that was that. I never thought about it again until I heard it buzzing around social media with positive things from other people like myself, like Asian American Girls. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll watch it. Colleen, when you first heard and saw it, what did you think?
When I first saw the trailer, I thought it was so cute. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I think this is like one of the first animations about Asian Americans. So I was really excited about my heritage being out there, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna fuck with it. I'm gonna love it. I love the trailer. I was like, dude, that is so cute.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So what a different perspective on
reaction. Yeah. What made me think that we really needed to do a podcast episode on this, obviously, aside from all those reasons mentioned, was because right before I watched it, or like after I watched it, I was like, Colleen, what'd you think? And then you're like, do you want to say?
Well, okay, so to be honest with you, I think my expectations were a little too high. That's why I think it's great that Eileen goes into things blindly, because, there are no expectations where you're just like, oh, like, it's going to be, like, the story of my life. Because I also did see a lot of social media, like, oh, my God, like, I've never related more to a movie. And I was like, oh, like, I was like, oh, my gosh, maybe that's going to be like me. But for me, it was just, like, another movie, I guess. Like, and I can't say that I didn't relate to it at all, and I can't say it was bad. It was a little cringy for me at some points, and I was like, what in the world is this? But I think it's because I didn't watch it with the right people, maybe. I don't know. I watched it with a friend and my sister, and we were just like, oh, okay, like, it was okay. But I watched it by myself yesterday, and I enjoyed it more than I did the first time.
Wow, that is so interesting. Because yeah, like I basically was like, I saw that, I'm like, it looks meh. I won't, or like, I don't want to get my hopes up. I think that I come everything with suspicion, and also I don't want to start theorizing because I build up expectations, etc. So I was just like, I'm probably not going to see it. Heard a lot of good stuff. I was like, yeah, okay, we'll see what's going on.
We'll see.
And I was like, Colleen, I'm going to watch this. What do you think? And you're like, it was cringy. And I was like, oh no. I mean, that was your honest reaction, and like, yeah, it's a cringy movie, and like, but I love that. Like,
that's good. I'm happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah. And so I was like, well, we definitely need to talk about this, because yeah, here are two girls, similar in background, etc., but we had very different takes and experiences with the movie. And also, I also watched it alone, blank, going into a blind, no expectations. So I think that it was really easy to exceed, Well, going into it first, I guess I'll just talk a little bit from my perspective, as I have been this whole time. From basically the start of the movie, the Asianness was overpowering for me. Like, I was like, whoa. Everything from where she lived to like her dad's cooking to whatever, like everything in maybe the first 10 to 15 minutes is like, I think, very baseline relatable for a lot of Asians.
Yeah.
Like, very good country. Yeah. And even her going to school and everything. I think that cringiness is the sort of polarizing aspect of the movie, which really splits up audiences, because once she gets into the whole boy band thing, and like literally the entire movie is just her and her friends trying to go to a concert, and it's a very like basic teenage sort of, or middle school kind of goal. But there's also that mixed in sort of like her art and her whatever. Like, as I was watching the movie, I was like pausing and crying and like taking pictures and sending it to my family. Like, when she drew the freaking one with the mermaid and everything, like, I died. Or like when she began like drawing his arms, and she's like, I guess his arms are a little nice, and then she like rolls in her bed and starts like drawing random shit. Like,
she's like sweating too.
Yeah, like that was me. That's me.
Whoa.
Do you not see that, or do you see that?
No. You know what? The second time I watched it yesterday, I was watching it, I was like, this is Eileen.
Yeah, I felt like that really hard. The whole thing is like Asian girls are cringy, you know? And at least for me as a cringy Asian girl, like that's where I came from, and like drawing like weird stuff in my art book. And it's no coincidence that the director and like all the people behind the movie also were just like that as well. That like we all have that coming out big time.
I have a question for you then.
Yes.
So some people, well, people on this podcast know that you draw thirsty art, right?
Yes.
So like, how young did that start? Okay, that's okay. Sorry, let me give you a few parts. Okay, let me give you a few parts of this question. How young did that start? And when you started, like, were you like Maylin, where you like hid it from the world? And did your mom or your family like discover that? And when they did, if they did, like, what was their reaction? Okay. The floor is yours now.
Oh my God. So real talk, I drew a lot of thirsty shit. Like basically from the time I could hold a pencil, like, and I like middle school. Let's say middle school.
Okay.
I think a lot of people it's middle school. So
it
just
makes
like
sense,
mainly. Yeah. Yeah. It's like you were never drawing it and then suddenly it's all you're drawing kind of thing. And
something
you're hiding
sparked inside of you.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think yeah. I definitely felt with that scene, but I definitely hit it, and it was more of a negative experience for me. Like it wasn't like obviously not celebrated, and a lot of it was mixed in with religion and like my background, and my dad and my mom were a little bit more heavy-handed in that way. Oh, when she was going into the store, when her mom was like, how could you do this? And you see all those sketches. Like I was waiting for her to be like, please wake up. Like this is a dream. Like this is so bad.
I thought it was a dream too.
Me too. I was waiting for that. Like, and she never woke up. And I'm like, oh my God, that's the worst thing ever. Like I remember when my mom found my sketches and was like, it was like, this is sinful. And like, you're a sinner. It was really hard to take, but the thing is there's so much, and I was drawing pretty graphic stuff. It wasn't just like, you know what I mean? Why am I talking about this?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just thought I was like, oh,
No.
Maybe Eileen would relate to that. Sorry, a little bit too much, huh?
No, girl. In shorthand, I know I'm blabbering a lot, but like in shorthand, like I felt like it was a movie about me, like,
Aww.
and there were so many parts that you don't really find in American movies. Like, for example, after her mom, tell me how you feel about this. After her mom like scolded her and everything, and basically was like, you know, we're never gonna go there again, and she goes into her room and she's in the mirror and she's like ripping up all her drawings, and she's like you are her perfect angel, like be better.
Right.
I was like, like I feel that.
Whoa.
I think that in a lot of American movies and stuff, like a lot of kids will be like, I hate you, mom, or I hate you, dad, but I've never seen a kid on screen take it upon themselves like, I need to be better. Like, what are you doing? You're messing up. Like be better. And I think that like any Asian kid I know has done that.
Yeah.
That's part of the intergenerational trauma that we like pass on, you know? And so when she did that, I was blown away. I was like, that was me in the little oversized t-shirt and the whole ripping up my drawings, being like, I'm a sinner, like, ugh, like I'm so bad, like, I'm not, you know, I'm dirty, I'm not good, I'm not worth it, I'm not worth anything, like, oof, deep stuff. But there are undertones of that also in the whole story. Like a lot of it is light and cringy and fun, but the undertone, like, I felt really hard. How did you feel about that? Like, did you see that at all, or did you see yourself in that scene?
I actually saw that part and I related to it as well, but I don't think I could relate to it as much as you did. I feel like as Asian Americans, a lot of times like our parents blame the outside world when their kid goes like AWOL, or like their kid is not what they expect it to be. Like, did you notice how she immediately drove to the mart to blame the Trevor boy? She didn't even let her daughter like explain, like, no mom, like these are just my fantasies. And I feel like that's a lot of the Asian culture where they like choose to turn a blind eye when it comes to their own kid, and they just choose to like point fingers at the world or at their friends. Like did you hear like her mom doesn't like Meredith? Is that her name?
Oh, yeah. I think Miriam. Yeah.
Miriam, because she thinks she's a bad influence. And a lot of times I feel like because at such a young age, you don't want your mom to be mad at you, right? So you're just like, oh, like, yeah, just blame Miriam. It wasn't me. But a lot of times it turns into like self-hatred of like, oh my God, like I'm the bad person. Like I'm the one. Like if my mom found out it was me, like she would hate me. She would like not be proud of who I am. And it goes back to like, I think that there's this one part where she's talking about like all she's ever wanted was her mom's approval. And I think every Asian American, I don't know about boy, because I'm not a boy, but like every Asian American girl is like, I want my mom's approval, because like something about Asian moms is like, you know, as much as mine loved me, like I still feel like I need it at times.
Yeah. And there is a very, like this movie is very much fixated on the relationship of like the mom to daughter relationship. I think that that's a very special one. I don't know how it is from Asian mom to son. We don't have that experience, but from Asian mom to daughter, it's like we've talked before about us being like the fixer-upper in the family, and like the younger sister or the younger sibling that bonds everyone together. And it's like so many people rely on you. You're like they project onto you that you're like this perfect angel, or you're this good person, that you're a good girl. And then but so many parts of growing up in a different culture or be finding yourself are like things like could be fantasies, or could be like, I do want to go to a concert, or the mama said that girl is odd. I was hurt because I'm like, well, your daughter is also odd, but you can't see that. You don't want to see that. There's this image of her that you have, and your daughter's trying to fit that, but she never will, because that doesn't exist. Me.
Facts.
Me 100. I'm not gonna scream, but I want to.
You can scream.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But yeah, I feel like after watching it a second time, I definitely related to it a lot more. Now talking to you about it and seeing your experiences and like your relation to the movie, like it also has reminded me a lot about my own childhood. Because if I'm being honest with you, I actually don't remember a lot of my childhood. I think it was too traumatic for me that I forgot it. So
yeah.
And that's on trauma, baby.
That's on trauma, baby.
So now that you're talking about it, and then like, you know, we're in deep discussion about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, I do have these feelings that are probably deep inside of me that will probably be opened up in this episode. So I'm very excited.
Whoa, man, that's so much. For me, it was opened up fresh in the movie, watching the movie. Like it was... Because I went in blank slate, whatever. Like, I was just experiencing them. And we've talked about emotions, of course. I experience it as it happens. Like, bang, 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 as she was, like, ripping up the stuff. Even when she was in the restroom and her mom was lovingly bringing out all the pads and stuff like that. And she just yelled at her mom, hey, and something. And she was like, and she stopped filming. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I feel, you know, just, it was that whole thing where like a little bit of your anger comes out, but you're like, oh no, you know, gotta keep that in. And like, so the red panda, a lot of people think, oh, it's puberty, or it's, some people think like, oh, it's a period and stuff. I think it could be all those things. But for me also, the red panda represents just things about you that you find ugly or distasteful to either your parents, you, the world, whatever, but they're parts of you that you still need to deal with. And so you shouldn't push those away. You should embrace them. You should learn how to grow with them and live with them and let that color you rather than hide it away and just be monotone.
Yeah. And I really like how there are parts where her red panda, you know, although it can be so cute and so fluffy and so friendly, when she gets misunderstood or when she feels like she's not heard, like it turns into like kind of like a crazy one, right? Like a crazy version. Yeah. And I feel like that's so true, because so many times as Asian American kids, we were taught to like not express who we are in the truest form. And I feel like a lot of times when we reach a certain age or we reach a certain time in our lives, we're like, okay, fuck it, like I'm just gonna be this crazy person. I do understand that we do have to manifest it, but because we've been told and taught to suppress it, there are times where people just go to the deep end, like they just go completely opposite, you know, like like completely 180. And so I feel like there has to be that balance of like being true to who you are and also like accepting that your culture is like that, and just a way where it's like it's just a balance. And then we've talked about this before, but it's like a balance, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
How do you navigate that? And like, I think the directors also, I watched the behind the scenes, but they also didn't really know how to end the movie, because they didn't know what the answer was because they're still figuring it out too. It's like just, embracing changes. Like she had that kind of the showdown at the very end where she finally kind of stood up to her mom. It was just like this angry, teenager. But like, is that even the way to go? Because like, you can't just be angry all the time. But also it is on yourself to like deal with your panda. But then how much of that also like is on the culture surrounding you, and like it's just ignoring that there's some problems there. Like there's so much there that I think we're still trying to navigate, and that's why we talk about it. So Asians, trauma, red panda, suppressants. But one of and kind of a nice thing about this also is the mother daughter relationship, but not even all the bad. A lot of the good was like how much her mom like also loved her. You see that very dearly. Like, yes, like her mom is like, you did this wrong, but that's because she loves her daughter so much, because she wants to protect her, right? She's like, I thought I had more time to prepare you. I thought I could do this and whatever. And I think there's that scene where she just turned into the red panda, right? And she's running all across the rooftops, and like her mom is chasing after her through all the crazy traffic, and she takes off her heels. And that was the first time I cried in the whole movie.
Aw, why did you cry?
Like, I was like, my mom would do that for me, like dead ass. Like she would, and she has, because they don't know in the ways that they're hurting us. They don't know in the ways that they're telling us to suppress, or they're like imposing their expectations on us. It's just that they believe in us, they love us, they don't have it all figured out, but they would do anything. At least for me, like my mom would do that. She would be chasing me, and like that was a long sequence, and her mom was running the whole time, hair whatever, heels whatever, like no care in the world, and her whole house was messed up. She didn't care. She was just cared about her daughter. Like, Maymay, like, are you in it? And of course the whole movie, it's Maymay, and I've been called obviously Maymay my whole life. Have you also?
No, my mom didn't call me that.
What'd she call you?
Colleen. But I love what you're saying about that, because I feel like as young kids, like we think our mom is perfect. We think our mom has it all figured out. And as I'm growing older, I'm like, oh, wait, like my mom's human too. Like she has trauma from her relationship with her mom, her dad. And she has been through life too. And I feel like the way Asian parents love us is like the best way that they think that they can love us, and the way that they've been raised, just like the movie. It's like it was funny because like she's like, how can she talk to her mom like that, right? And then right after that, her mom calls her, and she's like, I'm not here. And I thought that was so funny, because her relationship with her mom isn't perfect, but you could see her effort, you could see her heart in trying to be there for Maymay the best way she can. And I feel like if we could realize that, we could see that, like there's so much beauty in our relationship with our mom or with our dad. That's what it taught me in that scene.
Yeah, another beautiful thing is this isn't the first movie the first mainstream movie that talks about intergenerational trauma. Like I know Encanto, I still need to see it. Can't wait. Need to see it with my partner.
It's so good. I love Encanto.
Oh, Jesus. But I know that I like to do blank slate. Haven't seen the trailer. Haven't seen, I try to not see anything about it. But I know that people talk about it, intergenerational trauma too, like passed on from the older generation to that. Like when you see how the grandma was in Turning Red, and then how the mother is, and then like how May is, like you see the gradation. Like there's certain things that the mom wanted to protect May from that maybe the grandma wanted to protect. It's like everyone is just doing their best. We're approaching that age where like maybe in 10 whatever from a few years we're like parent age, or the age that our parents had us, and we're like, oh damn, they didn't know what they were doing. Nobody does.
Yeah,
you're just trying to love in the way that you know how, and it's about forgiveness and learning and embracing each other and your pandas, I think.
I love that.
I think the thing I did not expect in this whole movie for me to just like lose my shit over was the boy band.
FaANgirl!
Do you know that they have a whole website?
Really?
I had downloaded their wallpapers.
A true fan. The way I saw it when I watched her obsession with FaANgirl, I really related to this because with her friends, right, she was so open. She was like the one that was like, we love FaANgirl, remember guys?
Yes.
And there's that one scene where her mom is watching TV and the FaANgirl comes up. And then her mom's like, ugh, why would anyone like them? And then she's like, I don't know, like people at school like them. And then her mom's like, ugh, disgusting. For me, it's like, as I was growing up, like, I don't think I was ever able to fully express what I liked and fully express the things I was interested in because I felt like I was embarrassed or felt like it was shameful, you know? Like, you know, growing up for me, like I loved K-pop and I was like, oh, I love them. I was never able to share that with anyone because I felt like in a way it was kind of embarrassing or in a way it was kind of shameful. Even to this day, like I get a little embarrassed telling people what I like because I'm like, oh, will they judge me? Will they think I'm weird for it, you know? And I think it stems a lot from like as we're growing up, like we were never allowed to like go crazy over these things or fantasize or fan over it. And so as I'm growing older, I'm like, oh, I like this, but I don't want to fully put it out there that I'm in love with it. You know, like even for anime, I'm like, yeah, like I like anime. And then like, you know, like I'm still a little embarrassed about that because I guess I'm like scared about what people will say, you know, and like I'm like ashamed of it or whatever. But I guess that trauma has like brought me this far, you know?
Girl.
Starts getting mad.
Girl. Yeah. Girl. Preaching to the goddamn choir. Like, why? Like, I was like, why am I so hyperfixated on this movie and the music and the boy? Like, when they turned into angels and they rose, I screamed. I was like, and I was like, holy shit! And like when they're like, you want it, I want it. Oh my god! And then yeah, and when they came out with the cages, I was like, my mind was getting blown. Like I was in the crowd. I was like, well, I think because again, dude, growing up, it was like I was just a cringy kid, but like that's what your job is to be cringy. You're not supposed to be well put together and have no. Your job is to like the things you like, and you should be free from judgment. Everyone deserves like friends like what Mei Lin has. I know her name, Mei. What she has, Mei. And I think like again, like that's what grounded her. You know, when she was getting angry, when she was letting that pan out, what grounded her was she remembered that she had friends that loved, accepted, and supported her. And like not everyone has that. I feel like if I had that too, maybe I would accept these cringier parts of myself a little bit more. I had a little bit of that too because I went online, but like girls, same thing. I withheld from like liking stuff like looks kind of dumb. Like again, K-pop was like just getting popular like 10-12 years ago, and I was like I don't really know, but obviously it was very like attractive to me, like oh the music is whatever and the boys are like really dancey and the girls are super cute, but I'm like oh like I really but like why? I was so concerned about being cringy and being judged and whatever, and so I never got to itch that scratch where I could just like the things I like, or I could just like you know what I mean, or even in anime too. But now like I'm at the stage where I'm like fuck it, this is me. Obviously
this is me.
I'm out here drawing whatever the frick I want. I'm just like shirtless guys, hey. I'm just like hey,
yeah,
you know?
Her friends were like fantasizing about Trevor and she was like L, like no. And then but then yet she went home and drew hella fantasies with Trevor, and it's just like
his name is like Devin. Sorry. I think his name is
Devin. I just watched it yesterday and I really fucked up his name.
Wait, I hope his name is Devin.
Sorry.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm such a.
I thought his name was Trevor.
Frick. Let me.
Okay. Anyways, whatever the bucket hat boy.
Yeah, Devin. Turning red. Yeah, his name is Devin. Yeah. Freaking Devin. Yeah, I ruined your train of thought. Devin. She goes home and draws a bunch of Devins. Like a loser.
Exactly. His name's Devin, right?
It's Devin.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Anyways, Devin boy. And she had to like hide that part. Like even with her friends, like she really wasn't able to fully express that. And and when she did that, I was like, yo, that's me. Because I'd be like, when people would make fun of K-pop, I'd be like, yeah, like, ew. But I'd go home and watch like 3 hours worth of music videos, you know?
Yeah, and like specifically with the whole boy band thing, like I think the term nowadays is like pick me girl, you know, which is like the girls that are like I don't really like that, or like ooh that's too girly or whatever. Like there's so many different gradients, but basically it's the girl who's like I don't like the popular stuff because I'm cool or whatever. But that's just society.
Yeah.
Saying like telling you that's what girls like, or like you know like, or I remember even growing up with the rhetoric about girls like okay, One Direction, Five Sauce, and a bunch of other boy band-esque things were really popular, and like a lot of girls were into that, and I never really partook because I'm like I don't really see the appeal. maybe I did or I didn't, but I just didn't allow myself the opportunity because like everyone was like, oh, these girls are just fangirling, or they're just whatever, or they're just, you know, they're labeling them as like flimsy or as like just hormonal or whatever. Like, bitch, shut up. Like, they're having fun. It looks so much fun over there.
They have a passion.
Yes, and like it's fun. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, but I feel like I missed out on that, and I did. Through me or through society, whatever the reasons are. Now, like, I'm finally scratching that itch. And same thing with K-pop too. K-pop, again, I got into a little bit, right? And like, I remember when I first saw BTS, was it Boy in Love, like their music video a long time ago. I was like, oh, this is really catchy, and I listened to it on repeat. But I'm like, I can't get too deep in though, because then because right. But why? For what? For what?
Yeah. For why? We always stop ourselves like before we get in too deep. And I feel like that's what Asian American culture has become. Like for me, sorry, I can't say for the whole culture.
Speak your truth.
But like,
speak your truth.
Yeah.
Speak your truth.
For me, it's like you said, like you sort of like hold yourself back from like fully embracing that quirky, that weird, that odd side of you, you know? And yeah, sometimes I wish I did embrace that side of me, and I wish I could have like held on to the weird side of me a little bit more. Like, who knows where I would be today.
For audio listeners, I just pointed at me.
Yeah, and I'm pointing at Eileen.
Fun fact. It's not too late to start getting cringy. Okay, we're already here. We're already watching anime. I'm already drawing hot guys. What do you want to draw? I'm kidding, but like, it's not too late. You know what I mean? Like, that's
true.
We call it cringy, but also I saw this TikTok thing also trending around, this audio, which is like, be cringy. Like, do whatever you want. Just have fun. What are you afraid of? People judging you? Like, people are going to judge you no matter what. And people even judge things that are good or bad. Like, people hate on things that are good or bad. Like, people are just, what? Like, are you going to live your life not doing what you want to do, or rather doing things that you think people want you to do? I mean, obviously we all know this, but like, for this movie, it really hit home for me, because I feel like I've kind of made it to the other side where I've really embraced my cringiness. Like, I just kind of am who I am, and I am reaffirmed time and time again that that's what makes me me. That's what makes me Eileen. The things that make Colleen you, like, you know, when we talk about Levi or Aaron, or just the stuff that you like your love for K-pop, your love for food, and like those are all things that are unique, and like, you can like just go into that, get super into it. And I am an example of a friend who will love and support you unconditionally. Like, I accept panda or no panda. Like, dude, like, yeah, I love you. Tell me everything that you want on your mind. Yeah, of course. But like, I love this movie.
That's good. Speaking of that, like, I think like after meeting Eileen, don't take this as an offensive. This is the biggest compliment I can give offended. You, okay? No, it's like seeing her and being herself, right? Like, really has inspired me to be like weird and cringy. Not that you're weird and cringy. Okay, yes, we're embracing it, right? So yes, we are, congratulations. Yeah. You're the weirdest, cringiest person I've ever met, Eileen.
Thanks.
Right, like meeting her, and we would do some stupid shit in Taiwan, and she didn't give a shit. No. And that's what I loved about her. I was like, yo, this girl's weird as fuck, and she loves it, and I love it, right? So if she's able to show this side to the world and not give a flying damn, like, maybe I should too, you know? And so yeah, God. I did get into anime because of her, and now we're both embracing it.
And I'm embracing you. Fun fact number 2. Colleen and Lorraine are integral to me accepting who I am.
Stop.
No. Real talk.
Stop.
I've never been with people that I felt so safe just to be me. Every single time I let a little bit, really, every time I let a little bit of that out, y'all were like, it was like you were hungry for it. In the most loving way. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. Or like, I'm sorry, like, I don't want to. And you're like, no. Or like, when I started like randomly singing or dancing or whatever the freaking things I do, you're like, you guys loved it. And it wasn't just like oh yeah, go embarrass yourself. Like that kind of fakeness. Because I've been around other people, girls or whatever, other genders, are just like, oh, like, that's Eileen, or "Oh, okay, yeah, we love you," or like, you know, or even like when I'm going back in my memories now, I'm like, oh, I think I was a little bit bullied, but it didn't really. It didn't register. I was just so dumb. I was just so far in the deep end. I like, because people were like, wow, like, Eileen, get your life together. Or like, oh yeah, like, they just like look at each other when I do something. But like, I'm like, oh, I think I was like maybe micro bullied, but not really. Whatever. But being around Colleen and Lorraine, like, they just loved me. They accepted me. You guys made me comfortable so I could give a little bit of that spark back to you. This is magic, you know? You embraced me first, and I'm gonna embrace you the whole way home. I love you guys. I love you.
We love you too. Wow. There's this hilarious video of Eileen. She was doing the full. What were you doing in that video?
What are you
Do you
talking about?
remember we were drunk at our house and then we were all playing a game and you just stood up and started doing a dance routine. Do you remember that?
No.
And Eileen's just doing a full-on dance routine while we're all trying to figure out this game. And Eileen just kept going. I feel like maybe you're imagining these because we just looked at you too. No, but obviously we were like, you're so cute, right? You're so funny.
No,
but then,
no.
So maybe you were bullied.
No.
Because then we didn't say anything and you were just like, I just laughed.
Wait, are you saying that you were, that I did kill the vibe?
No, you didn't. But I'm saying it's not like we did anything intentionally to be like, Eileen, keep going. We weren't like that. We were just like there. We just like obviously accepted who you were. But the way you're saying it makes it sound like we were like applauding you, like, keep going, Eileen. But we were just there. But then so I was like, maybe you were bullied.
Wait, no. Okay, here are the facts. There's a line. There's a limit to this cringe. I don't like what I did that night.
I loved it. I still watch it back then. I'm like,
no.
Yes.
I do know what the night you're talking about. We were drinking a little bit. It was a good night in my memory up until that point. Like in the moment.
No, it was a good night the whole night. No, it was. You didn't kill the vibe at all. I didn't mean it like that. I was just saying like we weren't exceptionally like supportive, but
no.
I'm so glad.
Just the fact that you guys continued to maintain contact with me after that night is your support. Okay, I just want to be clear. It's not, no one would ever. I know that night very clearly now. It's like we were drinking and then randomly I just began singing the Hare Hare Yukai dance from Haruhi Suzumiya. It's this old dance. I used to dance it in high school. Yeah, top cringe. Back when I was Glee Club president. Just cringe on top of cringe.
I love it. No, don't stop, Eileen.
I was just dancing out of nowhere, and then while people were talking, and then like they paused, and I just kept on going. And in my mind, right, I was having this whole like moment, like I was like having such a good time. But then when I watched the recording back sober, I'm like, what the fuck is going on there?
No, but you know what I love about that video is that you looked so happy. And the fact that everyone looked at you and you paused, stopped in your tracks, and you looked at us and you kept going. That is the reason why I love you.
Dude.
That's all I have to say.
I'm so sorry, but also I love you, but also thank you. But that's the kind of energy that we all need. You guys love and support, and you just accept me. You know, you're not encouraging me like, go girl, go Tatiana. You're just like, that's Eileen. And like, whatever it is you want to do with my friends, like, I never want to be that girl in the corner, that person in the corner, just like, okay. You know, like, I hated that. Like, I've been around so many people like that. It hurts over time because you just, imagine if we were all the same. That's boring.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be different. It's just, I'm just really having a good time. I'm just having a good time wherever I go. And if you want to have a good time, I'm going to support you to the end. No matter who you are.
Yeah, and I think people are also jealous of people that are able to like fully express who they are. Just because, like I said, we suppress it. We want to keep it in. We don't want to be, I don't want to be like the person that everyone's looking at, but at the same time we also crave it. Like, wow, I wish I had that freedom that Eileen has. I wish I had that kind of quirkiness, and that she just don't give a flying fuck about anybody that's looking
the
at
thing
her.
is, I do give a flying fuck. I do, because I live in a society. But it's good. It's a balance. You can't go too off the deep end, because there's some people who like, you know what I mean? You can't be like, I'm never going to express a single personality. I'm perfect. But you never can be like, quirky, like I am a quirky girl, I la, 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 you know, like and like hoarding people's attention. That's what I'm always like, I don't want to do that, because I do like people's interaction and I do feed off of people's energy, but so I never want to be on there. So it takes a balance, and it takes friends that are good and honest with you to tell you when you're too, when like
when
boundaries.
it's too much, right?
When it's too much, yeah. Like understanding boundaries. Yes. Comfortability, appropriateness, context. So those are all things I've learned over time. I'm still learning. Okay.
We're all learning. So anything else that you loved about the movie? What else, Eileen? What other parts made you cry? I want to know that.
Ooh, shit. Okay. You know the scene where she goes into the other realm and she sees her mom younger? Dude.
Yeah.
I have like almost no words for that moment. Like, I never thought I'd see something so real in an animated Disney Pixar movie. Those are like the sort of comics that I draw for myself, like meeting my younger self or meeting whatever. And like for her to transcend a generation and talk to her mom younger and see, I don't have words. Like, it was so beautiful and simple in what it was.
Yeah. And did you notice how like she was the one that was holding her mom out of the forest?
Yeah.
And as her mom grew older, like she was still holding on to her hand. Like, I thought that was really emotional.
Yeah, that was really beautiful. I don't think that it would be the same movie if it wasn't for that scene. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of cringe. There's a lot of upbeat songs, a lot of other like general Asian stuff. But that, I think people can feel that. It doesn't matter like what culture you come from. It's like, because your parents were also a kid once too. They have their hurts. They have their scars. And especially for her mom, you saw her, you know, she had her little awkward glasses on. Like, she looks like, the thing also about this movie is that everyone looks like somebody I could know. Maylin, like her sparse eyebrows,
yeah.
or her whatever, her little moles, her little teeth or whatever. Like, she was designed intentionally by the visual directors and whatever, who are also Asian girls like ourselves, to look real, to look like little Asian girls. And like the dad, the mom, when I saw the mom younger, I'm like, yeah, I know girls that look like that too. You saw her and she was crying. She's like, I'm not good enough for my mom or anyone. I was like, whoa. And how her daughter, you know, just as this comforting stranger, she's like, I know it feels like that, but it's not true. And then she's, let's go, you know. And then she brings her mom through the forest, and as she gets older, she still keeps her head down and stuff. That's also why I think her panda is so big, because her mom was basically first generation, you know, if you think about it, like going into the country and stuff. So much expectation, so much repressed, like, I need to be perfect, I need to be whatever. And I don't really feel like she had an outlet for that. I feel like that's why her rage is so big. Her panda is so big. She has so much she's put away, you know, tried to be a mom, tried to be this, try to meet her mom's expectations. She still has all that stuff with her mom. Like, Maylin doesn't have that kind of anxiety with her mom, you know, but she does.
Yeah.
With her mom. She keeps her head down. She doesn't maintain eye contact. There's so much pain there. And her daughter has almost kind of broken away from that and accepted all these parts about herself and kind of embraced her panda, right? And so her daughter, through her better place in life, can lead her mom through the forest and on the other side and be like, and comfort her, you know? And like, whoa, that's deep.
Wow.
Big talks, big discussion. Wow, I'm so glad we talked about this. We talked about a lot of stuff. There's something for everyone in there. I meet a lot of people that are not Asian, right? And they also get a lot from the movie as well. It could be about just puberty. You know, it could be about getting your period. I've heard so many different takes on this. It could be about exploring intergenerational trauma between two cultures. I don't know. You could go super, super like theoretical about it. It could just be you like the music. It could be anything you want. There's so much in there. I'm so glad I was able to talk about it with you. You said things that I couldn't have even said better. Like the whole thing with BTS and K-pop and all that. I was like, girl, I had no idea you felt the same. So I really enjoyed talking about this with you.
I did too. I think it's also like everyone's experience is different. So obviously coming into the movie, right? Like you cried a lot. Obviously I don't cry, so but then I was touched, but then in different ways, you know. And I do love the relationship that May and her mother has, because I feel like you said, like at the end there's obviously not like a definite like happy ending or like what they should do,
Yeah,
but I really love the scene where, you know, she still helps out at the temple with her mom. But now her mom lets her go out and play, and she even invited her friends over for dinner. I think, like, in Asian culture, like, it's people don't usually invite their children's friends over.
No, never.
Because it's just like
Never.
the home is like a sacred place, you know, like you usually don't go to your Asian friend's house. Well, mine was a little different, so people did come to my house, but I know it's like a little different. And did you see how Tyler's now in the friend group because of his love for Fort Town? You know, like, it just shows like friendship, mother and daughter, father and daughter. By the way, I loved that scene where he found the recording of Mei Lin with her friends, and he went up to her and he was like, has your mom ever talked to you about her, Panda? And I love that because, actually I have something to say about this because, like, I feel like as moms, like, with their daughters, like, they don't want to show their weakness or the things that they went through. Like, I kind of relate to that. Like, my mom always, like, you know, just, like, told me what I should do, like, encouraged me and all that stuff, but she never really shared, like, her own experience in her life and her own struggles. And I feel like a lot of times, like when you do share that with your younger generation, obviously I'm not a mom yet, so I wouldn't know what that's like, and I wouldn't know where that pressure comes from. But I loved how the dad was able to share with her, dude, your mom her panda was big and it was scary, you know? And that I think put a lot of perspective on May too, where she was like, wait, like, my mom's been through the same thing as me too. But obviously the mom never explicitly shared with her, but once she got a little bit of that, like, wow, my mom went through the same thing as me, like, I think something changed inside of her, and she was like, oh shoot. And I love that she got to keep her panda because I felt like it was like a representation of who she was. And I love that the dad was there to support him. Like, he was quiet and he didn't really say much because it was usually the mom talking. But when he did talk, it spoke volumes of wisdom.
Yeah. And that's representative of, like, a lot of other family or, like, parental dynamics too. Like, there's one, you know, she's more of like a helicopter parent, more like very, very doting, but very, like, very hyper. And then the other one just, like, silently kind of understands his daughter. Like, he was looking at the 4-time pamphlet, like, you know,
he's so cute.
Maybe we should trust her.
Yeah.
No, you know, like, you know, and then he's like, well, you know, delete it if you want, but, you know, this part of you made me laugh, you know. And he's just, it's a, wow, like, there's so much in there for everyone. Or even, like, some about Tyler, you know, the bully.
Yeah.
He was just kind of a little piece of shit the entire movie. And then as soon as they saw him with the 4-town, like, instant acceptance. The girls, like, without a doubt, were just like, you're one of us
they
now.
Hugged
and, like,
him.
I'm like, how sweet. Like, they were just like, we're not enemies anymore. Like, we love you. You're part of us. Like, it's cute. There's something,
Growing up, I wish I had that kind of friend group surrounding me. And I'm so glad that I get to, like, find my own tribe now, I guess, as I grow older. But I feel like having a solid friend group, like, when you're young is so important. Yeah. Like, I feel like,
having a group, because that was the grounding thing for her. And, like, that would have been really...
That would have been dope.
Really nice, but...
That would have been nice.
Would have been nice. I had a little bit of that, but when I see that now, like, that just reminds me of you.
Me too.
Like, I love Colleen, like, hell yeah.
And I love the acceptance, you and me.
Colleen, do you have any last thoughts about Turning Red?
Now that I talked it over with you, I definitely like it much more. Like, I liked it already. Like, I'm not going to say it was a bad movie.
Right.
I love the animation, I love the story, and I llove the relatability that I had with it. But after talking about it with you, I was like, whoa, gotta unpack some more. Because that was definitely a lot. Like this movie, like Eileen said, there's so many undertones that says a lot, speaks a lot of volumes to the Asian American community, and I'm just so glad that they made a movie about it.
Fuck yeah.
Thank you.
Representation, like, matters. Thank you to Domi Shi, the director.
谢谢.
Thank you so much. 谢谢. 谢谢姐姐.
And thank you for sharing your own experience with us about the movie, because I enjoyed it.
Thank you for sharing yours. I enjoyed it too. We have a lot in common. Girl, this is why we have a freaking podcast, so we can talk about this. I love you. Okay.
I love you.
All right, that is our episode. Okay.
Thank you guys. Stay thirsty. Stay red.
Accept your pandas.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Thirsty Leo Season. To stay updated, check out our Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube. We appreciate every follower, sub, and listener like you. Also, if you want to buy us a boba, we have a small Ko-Fi link below. See you next time!